All right. Welcome to Frank Teaches Devils. So in this series, I will be showing us or describing how you can create a Docker in a Docker. All right. You have a running container. The concept is you have a running container which is already a Docker, which was already created using Docker, and in that container you want to have Docker running in that container. All right, it's like running VM inside of a VM. Okay, so here's the concept. So that concept is Docker in Docker. That concept is known as Docker in Docker. Let me bring up blank diagram. Okay. Oh, what is this now? Hmm. Okay, so in like I said earlier, in the series, we are going to describe the concept of Docker, Docker in Docker. Okay, now what do we mean by Docker in Docker? Assuming I I have a Jenkins container which is already a Docker, all right, and in the Jenkins container, I want to install Docker. In the Jenkins container, I want to what? Install Docker. So that is what is called Docker in Docker. Docker instead of Docker. So let's get started. All right, let's get started. I I have my terminal already, and this is this machine is Ubuntu Ubuntu okay 20.0.4. Okay, so in here I'm going to create a Docker. So for that, let me just install. I'm going to create a Jenkins container. Let me just install docker.io. Sorry, apt install docker.io. Apt updates. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, then I can now run docker install. That's great. So these are things I need. These are things I need. These are things I need. I'll need Docker, tools to get started. I need Docker. All right. I will install Docker. I'll also install Docker Compose. Docker Compose. I want to use Docker Compose as well. Let's go back. Oh, that's set. So let's check the service for Docker. Status Docker dot socket. All right, it's up and running. Okay, it's up and running. All right. So the next thing I need to do now, I need to install Docker Compose. So all I need to do, I'll go to Docker Compose page. Install Docker Compose, and I'm going to click on the first link. I scroll, go to Linux. Okay, so copy this URL, copy. copy, paste that, pasted. All right. Sorry, what did I copy? Okay, okay. It's already somewhere. Okay, so don't worry. Then copy the next command. This is the next command. This is the next command. Copy. That's it. Then finally, I need to create a symbolic link between these guys. So this is just a symbolic link. So this is how you install Docker Compose in your environment. It's done. So anyway, I can hit Docker Compose version. I should get that up and running. So Docker Compose is now running in my environment. Okay, so I'm all set. I'm all set. So let's quickly create a user. Um, add user Jenkins. Jenkins. Okay. Password is 1212. That is correct. Okay. Now switch user towards to Jenkins. Okay. So on Jenkins, I'm going to make it direct. Let's call that directly Jenkins data. All right. And go into Jenkins data. And inside of Jenkins data, I'm going to make another directory called Jenkins underscore what home. All right. That's fine. So in this Jenkins underscore home, or sorry, in this Jenkins data, I'm going to create a Docker file. All right. So I'm going to use the Docker file to create a Jenkins container, and in that container, I am going to install another Docker. All right. Okay, great. So Docker file, Vim Docker file. Or Vim Dockerfile. Okay, okay, let's see. So from Jenkins slash Jenkins. So mine, you can search for, we can search for the kind of image, Docker search Jenkins image to use. Or I need to be root. I need to be root. So if I need to be root, let me go out of here and add Jenkins user to sudo as file. Admin, let me add it to admin group. Okay. um user sorry user mode a capital G admin Jenkins. All right, so Jenkins is now member of the admin group, so Jenkins can be running sudo commands. All right, so sudo vim. All right, so if I do sudo Docker search for Jenkins to be able to check for images on Docker Hub. All right, should be able to search for images on Docker Hub. So that's the image I'm going to use. Jenkins. Okay, so Vim Jenkins data Docker file. All right, so I'm going to copy this guy from, that's the image you're using, from Docker Hub. Sorry. Okay, using from Docker Hub. Then the user who is going to run this Docker file is root. Okay, it's root. Just one sec. Okay, or better still, let me use Docker Compose for this. Let me use Docker Compose for this. Okay, let's use Docker Compose. I will use Vim Docker Compose.yaml. Okay, in this file, I will specify the version. Version is version 3. Okay. Then services. Services is Services is Jenkins. All right. So this is the service definition. Service definition. So container underscore name will be, let me give it Jenkins as well. Jenkins. Jenkins. Then images. I'll say Jenkins slash Jenkins. Okay. Then all right, I'll say volumes. So I'm going to map my make my I'm going to make my what's it called, my Jenkins home directory persistent, meaning that um if I the contents the Jenkins, I'm going to mount Jenkins home directory on the container. I'm going to the container that will get created, meaning if I meaning the same content I have in my Jenkins home is the same content on my local machine, is the same content I'm going to have on Jenkins home running inside of the container. So I'll say this will be like this, pwd /Jenkins underscore home. Then I'm going to map it to Jenkins as well. I'm going to map it under /var /Jenkins underscore home. Okay, that's my volumes. Then the next thing I need to create is networks. So my network will be net. Okay, then down here I also need to create the networks. Net. Okay, so let's escape and shift and save. All of these should get my container. Oh, sorry, I've not specified the ports. I've not specified the ports that this container should run on. So this should be ports. Ports will be 8080 column 8080. All right, so that's fine. The port is 8080. Escape, save, and quit. Okay, so once that is done, the next command I need to run is Jenkins, Docker compose build. So I'm building, so I'm not building, compose up minus D. All right, so let's see if everything goes as expected. Okay, all right, I have indentation error, indentation error in my Jenkins, in my Docker file. Okay, Docker compose up minus D is just you're still having indentation issue, indentation issue. All right, let me sort that out. Still having indentation issue. All right, all right. So it's just indentation issues. So you have to be very careful with the Docker compose or YAML file is indentation. So this is the proper way. Okay. So quit, and if I do Docker compose up minus D. Okay, all right. This is sudo. Where am I getting this? Docker compose up minus D. Okay. All right. All right. So I think it's now going through. It's now going through. It's now going through. Okay, so variable that variable is not set. Defaulting to blank string. Where should it be blank string? Network. Okay. So if I check Docker images, okay, sudo please, sudo Docker images. To get that this image has been downloaded. All right. Now let's see if our container is up and running. Sudo Docker ps. Okay, we're having some issues. Let's check all of A. Okay. Now let's sudo Docker log, not logs. Okay. Option Jenkins. Okay. So it's giving us some permission issue. All right. Like we said earlier in one of our series that by default Docker uses the Jenkins user on the on Docker container runs with a UID of 1000. All right, runs the UID of 1000. But what we are having here, if I check etc pass wd and if I should grab Jenkins, Jenkins is running at 1001. Okay, so that is why I'm getting this error, volume wrong volume permission. All right, because the UID on my base machine for Jenkins user is different from the UID on the container for the Jenkins user. So what I will do is I'll use sudo and I'll go into this file pass wd and change the UID for the Jenkins user from 1001 to 1000, 1001 to 1000, and Ubuntu should go back to, because no since UID is unique, no two users should have the same UID. So save and quit. The next thing I need to do is I need to do this sudo ch own recursively Jenkins user on home slash Jenkins. All right, that has been done. Now do the same thing for the Ubuntu user as well. Recursively Ubuntu Ubuntu slash home Ubuntu. But if I don't do this, look at if I don't do this, these users will not be able to have their login environment, their shell properly, their appropriate shell. So if I say sudo into Ubuntu, switch user Ubuntu, Ubuntu still have its environment. Let's say, let me exit, su Ubuntu. Okay, that's fine now. That's fine. Let me check home directory. Okay, there's still some error here. This file is not supposed to be owned by Jenkins user. It's supposed to be owned by Ubuntu user. So I'll do chown capital arrow Ubuntu column Ubuntu on home Ubuntu. Okay, so if I recall the command, this should be fine now. All right, this is the best way. All right, so the next thing I need to do now, I need to switch to the Jenkins user, change directory, and I'm going to kill the container which I created. All right, so the container I created using Docker Compose, Docker ps minus a 12. All right, this is an executed container. Okay, an executed container. So I'm going to stop this container. So I'll say sudo Docker compose stop. So if I should do this again, Docker compose stop Jenkins. distribution. Okay, or let me just use normal sudo docker docker rm, then the id, container id, remove that. That's gone. So if I should do this, everything is done, right? So let's build that again using docker compose. So docker compose up minus d. Okay, so if I do sudo docker ps, still not there. I'm having, okay, exited docker sudo docker logs Jenkins, wrong permission, cannot write to var Jenkins home, var Jenkins underscore home. Let's see, Jenkins underscore home, Jenkins. Let's see, Jenkins. All right, let's check our Docker Compose file one more time. Present working directory is this, okay? Jenkins underscore home, var underscore Jenkins underscore home. Okay, so what was the challenge? Just one sec. Okay, so quickly, so we check. I'll switch to root account. So Docker ps nothing, Docker ps minus a nothing as well. So Docker compose up minus d, creating Jenkins done. So if I say Docker ps, all right, great. So now our container is now up and running. So let's try and log into the container instance. So if I say Docker exec minus it Jenkins, give me bash. Okay, great. So I'm inside of the Jenkins container. All right. So I've just achieved one thing by using Docker to run this Jenkins container. So the next thing I need to do now is running Docker inside of this container. All right. That is the concept of what we call Docker in Docker. Okay. So as it is now, if I run Docker, you tell me that command not found. Okay. Command not found. Right. So I'll exit from this container. I'll exit from this container and start the process. See how I can create a Docker, install a Docker instead of this running Jenkins container. So that's where we have to go back to our Docker file. So we have our Docker file there. Open the Docker file. All right. I have just opened this Docker file. Okay. So I'm going to use this image. All right. Then I'm going to use the root user in running all of my commands. So after there, let me hop onto Google and see how to install Docker in Ubuntu. How to install Docker engine on Ubuntu. Let's see all of that process. Okay, installing using repository. Okay, I'm going to copy all of these. Copy this. Copy. Bring it here. Paste. Don't worry. I'll arrange everything. Um, this is a GPG. Copy. Paste. Okay. All that I need. Okay. These as well. These as well. Copy. paste, then finally installing Docker, copy, copy. All right, that's all I need. Come back here, enter, paste. All right, so let me arrange everything the way it should be. So run this guy, apt-get updates, and this apt get install minus y. Okay, install ca sats, install call, it is not there, install gpg, and install this as well. Okay, so while that is ongoing, I need to do this as well. Okay, let's do this like this. All right, then same thing as this. Okay, all right, okay, okay. So still using the root account. Oh, boom, 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 boom. So still using the root account. Apt updates and that. Apt install -y docker.io. So all this should go. So immediately all of this is complete, I need to switch back to the Jenkins user. All right. So I only use the root user to install these applications. Then once that is done, I need to switch back to the Jenkins user. So this is the content of my Jenkins file. Escape, save. Sorry, this is content of my Docker file. Save. All right. So I need to go back and modify um my Docker Compose file. Okay. All right. So I'm going to add one more volume, and one more volume. I would say I'm going to mount. I'm going to mount var slash var underscore run slash docker dot socket. Okay, this is where Docker runtime runs. Okay, I'm going to mount that. Then under slash var in my local machine, all right, I'm going to mount um um that directory to the same directory that runs in the container. So var run slash docker dot socket. So this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. So I need to change the image name. Let me change the image name to something Jenkins doc, Jenkins Docker. All right. Container name is Jenkins, image name Jenkins Docker. That's it. That's it. Save and quit. So since I will be working with build context, sorry, I missed something. build context. My build context will be my present working directory. So build will be what is my context? That's the directory where my Docker file is. Context. The context will be my local, my present working directory. So that's my where my Docker file is located. So once that is done, I'll run the Docker compose command build. So this will build the image. So if everything goes fine, we should have that image building Jenkins, sending build context. Let's see if everything goes fine. If everything goes fine, if everything goes fine, okay, okay, okay. Server Jenkins failed to build, blah 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 blah. Um, and this okay, sudo. All right, sudo not found. Okay, Vim, sorry, Docker compose. They said no, sorry, um, Vim Dockerfile. Says sudo not found. Where is that sudo? Okay, the command sudo, we didn't install it, so there will be no need for all of this. Escape, save and quit. Now run the Docker build again. Docker compose build. Let's see. All right, if everything goes well, we should be fine. Mm, mhm. Okay. The repository bullshit does not have a release file. Okay. Okay. What am I using? Cat etc. What version of release is okay? It's focal foza. Okay. So let's go back to Docker file. So this will be focals table. If I remove these parts, what I want is focals table. Focals table. Let's see. And run our build one more time. Let's see. Does not have a release file. App-get update and app-get install. Mm, 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 mm. Replace focals table. Build focals table. Okay, is now going. All right. So it was just the capital letter I use in place of focal. All right. So if everything goes fine, we should have a running Docker inside of our Jenkins container. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, the image has been built. So if we say Docker images, we should have our Jenkins Docker, which just created. So now from this, we can now what? We can now run the container. So say Docker compose up minus D. Let's see if everything goes fine. Is everything goes fine? Recreating Jenkins and then done. So, oh, sorry. Docker PS. Okay, let's see from Jenkins Docker. So if I should Docker exec minus IT, um, minus IT, Jenkins, and Bash. Let's see. So these are our fresh container that has Docker. Let's see if everything goes fine. You can now see that I have Docker in my running instance. All right. You can now see that I have Docker in my running this instance. So I can do Docker PS. The daemon. Okay, daemon not running. Okay, okay, that is understandable. It's understandable. Okay, something is just one sec. Okay, I have to fix that. I have to fix it. Let me see. Docker images. Okay, okay. It's something I have to fix on var on docker.socket. Okay. Now the user to this file must be owned by um Jenkins and Docker. Okay. Now if we check var run var run docker var run docker.sockets. Who owns this file? Let's see. Let me go into the file. Var run. You can see docker.sockets is not owned by Jenkins and Docker. It's owned by root. So I have to change that ownership. Recursively, I'll say Jenkins column Docker on docker.sockets. Docker.what sockets. Okay. Now this should work now. So if I go back to my Jenkins data folder and let me do Docker compose stop. Let me stop the running container. It's been stopped. So if I do this, it's no longer there. So if I do this, I have that. Okay, let me clean all of these containers, dangling exited containers. So this is all I need to do. Docker remove all at once. This Docker ps minus a. I think this should do that magic. Docker rm. Uh-huh. Docker rm. Let's see. Okay, everything is done. It's done, right? It's done. Okay. So now if I do Docker compose up minus d, rating done. So Docker ps, I have a running container. So let's log into that container and see. So Docker exec minus it, Jenkins, and bash. Now if I do Docker is coming, and I do Docker ps. No. Okay. 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 Dot sock. Okay. 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 Let me exit. I've done it wrongly. Let's go back to docker.sock. Sorry. Docker. One sec. I'll rectify that briefly and be right back. Okay, maybe I've used the wrong, not shouldn't be these sockets. Oh, I see. I see. Docker dot sock. This should go now. Okay. Ch own recursively Jenkins column Docker on Docker dot sock. Okay. Then come back to these are the things you need to change. Your Docker file. Is it? No. sorry, your Docker Compose. Change this to sock and not sockets. Sock and sock. So Docker Compose stop. Docker Compose up minus D. Docker exec minus IT, Jenkins, and Bash. To have Docker already. So Docker PS, great. So that should have been Docker sock instead of Docker sockets. So with this in mind, you can see that we have been able to implement Docker in Docker. All right, we've been able to implement Docker inside of Docker. Before it wasn't possible, but with latest advents in Docker technology, you can see that we can now run Docker um, as as a container manager, as a container runtime inside of another container. So Docker in Docker. So we can invariably see that as a encapsulation into encapsulation. Okay, so let's just do a recap. All right, let's do a recap. So in our recap, we our goal is to run Docker in Docker, and we started off with a Jenkins container. All right, and inside of the Jenkins container, we created we installed Docker with the help of Docker files. So let's see what we did. Okay, so this is what I have. I have a Docker file and Docker Compose. Okay, so in this Docker file, I have defined my base image as Jenkins, okay? And I've used the root user to run all these commands. All of these commands, these are the processes of installing Docker. Then, yes, at the end, I've installed Docker. Then I've switched back towards the Jenkins user. So that's my Docker file. Then, if we check our Docker Compose, we can see that container name is this, and the image, I'm building an image, obviously. And the port is port 8080. Then the volumes mapping, I'm mapping this volume as volume for Jenkins. Okay, then I'm also mapping this volume for the Docker. Okay, and build context. My context is local because that's where my Docker file is. Okay, that's it. Then let's see if we can access our Jenkins on the URL, our Jenkins server on port 8080. So I'm going to hit on my pick my public IP. So here's my public IP, Docker in Docker. Copy my public IP, then hop to my browser, column 80 watts, 80. Let's see if everything goes fine. I should be able. Okay, great. I have that. Then let's say Docker logs Jenkins. Okay, so here's my initial password. I've copied that, bring it up here, there, and paste. Paste it and continue. So that is it. Never. So with this latest achievements in container technology, you can now see how we can run a Docker in Docker. Okay, so let's wait for the plugins to get ready, and we should be fine. So with this now, I can now. So this was just to illustrate how we can implement Docker in Docker. And thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And see you in my next series.